Charles Dickens was one of the most prolific writers and artists of his time. His legacy continues to captivate and inspire as a portrait of his era, and because of his observation on human nature. Dickens was a man of many talents. He got involved in several sectors, including journalism, novel writing, acting, and performing. He knew how to capture the essence of a character. If we can't judge a book by its cover, the way people are dressed is a good indicative of who they are or do, especially during Dickens' times. He was born during the Regency period. It was the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. The French Revolution inspired ordinary people while frightening monarchies. The clothing style worn during the pre-revolution period was too elaborate for the angry mob. In order to appeal to the masses, a dramatic change was needed. Women's silhouettes became sleeker and more streamlined, with a high waist and lighter fabrics. Men's apparel was far less ornate and more straightforward tailoring, and fewer ornaments. With the introduction of manufacturing, fashionable clothing became accessible to the mass, and a bridge between the ruling classes and the common people started taking shape. In the late 1830s, a woman was back on the throne of England, Victoria, and everything became even more about conventions and manners. A lady had to be both conservative and fashionable. While men's apparel was more like a uniform, for women it was all about femininity and grace. If grand, garments were restrictive. By 1860, as the waistline got smaller, the skirts with crinolines got wider. The crinoline or hoop skirts became the first undergarment item massively produced. Some hoop could go as large as 5.5 meters circumference. Not exactly practical to wear around the house. Charles Dickens died in 1870, at the same time that society was on the cusp of a new era of fashion and personal freedom. It would take another 20-some years for the Victorian period to end, and the next chapter is for another collection.